I have heard quite a few bits about there being a competency crisis, and I will be one of the first to tell you that this simply isn't true. There is a crisis, but it's not about competency, it's about hiring practices. Let me tell you a brief story. I went to community college. I started at the age of 16 and continued off and on until my early 20s. I didn't finish college in the regular sense. I decided that I was finished with the idea of college altogether. Two things kept me from continuing. A, I had no real idea what I wanted to do with my life. And B, I recognized that I was effectively wasting money by switching majors and aimlessly taking classes. This community college was also limited, and I was extremely apprehensive of transferring to a larger college to finish any significant degrees. It was a stressful environment for me, and this was before I knew about my own autism. I thought I would get used to it, but I never really did. I just got better at coping with it, I guess. So I stopped going, and I would later hit the wall that many others have. Job search platforms have borderline zero real options for people who have undocumented skills. I knew I had skills. I could have easily become an editor or a copywriter, but every single open position requires either years of work and/or a degree that I was never going to waste my time getting. Short of directly emailing people and companies, I am completely barred from things that I could do, and that I could do very well. There's no guarantee that anybody will even look at me if I don't have a degree taped to my forehead. This personal anecdote has a point, and it's that hiring practices are outdated. I grew up online. I learned many of my skills by myself, and that means my actual capabilities are unknown, but they're not invisible. The recruiters and the companies are blind by choice, and the experience and degree requirements are largely unhelpful. If you want to be a nuclear physicist where failure means a catastrophe, then yeah, sure. You should probably have a degree and prior experience. And realistically, there are quite a lot of crucial jobs that benefit from experience requirements. You wouldn't want a surgeon with no experience and a lot of gusto. But what good does it do for artists? For programmers? Writers? Researchers? Literally any other field where a mistake doesn't cause a disaster is unfairly limiting people by including these arbitrary requirements. You may be wondering why they're arbitrary. What makes them arbitrary? Well, you see, we have this incredible thing called the internet, and lots of people are teaching themselves things using the internet. People are teaching themselves for fun because they want to learn it. I can go onto any website that hosts user content and find talent right now. Hell, if I go to the Minecraft Skin Deck site and scroll through the most recent uploads, there are probably actual children with artistic talent drawing Minecraft skins. It doesn't matter whether they're re-uploads because somebody made those skins to begin with. That's real talent. The worst part is that most of those kids are going to be overlooked. You can find this kind of disparity in many fields. There are people learning programming on their own, learning creative skills on their own, writing stories, doing journalism, even studying cars and specific fields of engineering. There's no shortage of people who want to learn something, and there's no shortage of people who have the capability to be good at these things. Want another fun fact about me? No. How unfortunate. When I was 12, I taught myself how to make stop-motion animation. I used an old camcorder, some modeling clay, and Windows Movie Maker. I was so ecstatic about it that I showed my parents. They had no idea what that really meant, so they just did what they always do and said, "Good job." The animations I made for the following 2 years are on YouTube somewhere, buried deep in the shelved content. If anybody was paying attention, any attention to me, in school, in life, or online, they would have noticed I had something to offer. I wouldn't be here making this video if I had been truly seen by a single person in my life. That's the part that hurts the most. I don't really like the idea of public speaking like this, but it does kind of feel like my only option in a world that refuses to pay any attention. I don't even want that much from life. All I really want is like-minded people to talk to and a stable income. And I want to live in a farmhouse, get married, and have kids. That's it. That's all I want. But the reality is that it's not that simple. The hiring managers and recruiters are behind. They're not having to deal with the changing world. The world has already changed without them. There is an entire generation of people who grew up with the internet and all of the information it provides. These corporate people are just now seeing the effects of a universally accessible source of information that's been fostering self-motivated learning for years. Smart people and smart kids have already taken advantage of it, and they didn't need to pay anyone to teach them. And let's be really straightforward, let's be really brutally honest about it. What self-respecting, intelligent, and/or talented person is going to waste thousands of dollars and years of their life going to school for something they already know how to do that is so diluted and ridiculous just as a concept that I can't even I don't know if I can put it into words properly. Recruiters and hiring managers and any other people involved with hiring need to open their eyes to reality and start evaluating people on what they can actually do, not what they say they can do. People with skills need to build a portfolio of some type that shows what they can actually do, and they need to use that as a resource. Traditionally documented expertise is slowly but surely being eroded, and its credibility is not so good. You make something using those skills you have and show it. If the people looking through applications don't do their job and then complain about not being able to find talent, they have objectively failed. It is their literal job to find people. If they can't find people, then they are doing their job wrong. Your talents and your skills are very real, but that doesn't mean that the people in charge of hiring are looking properly. If you're an artist, compile some drawings and sketches to show both your creations and the process. If you're a programmer, make a program that showcases your specific expertise. If you're a math nerd and you want to teach math, make some mock lectures and record them as videos. It doesn't matter what you do, just find some way to show what you can do and how it's relevant to what you want to do. Post it somewhere, either publicly or totally unlisted, and link it in every application, every email you send, and every platform you use to find work. Eventually, people will realize that it's not a competency crisis, it's a crisis of discovery. Businesses, corporations, institutions, they're all simply lagging behind the real world. They have always been, and they will always be, horrendously late.